Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision further down the road. Just before we dive in, let me give a very brief summary of the business today. It is an Amazon Associates and display advertising business created in January 2017 in the technology niche. The average monthly revenue for the business is $5,430, and it makes an average of $5,211 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are the primary domain with all of the site contents and files, 3 additional domains that are 301 redirects, a variety of social media accounts, an email list. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 57668 to learn more about the business. Or you can unlock the listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. That's a very brief overview of the business, but let's hear from the seller. Fern, welcome to the show, and how are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, doing very well, thank you. Let's start this off then. Can you just share with me what your background is in building or running online businesses?
So I build the online businesses with my fiance, and we've been doing that for about 10 years, probably around 8 full-time, and just have primary focus on affiliate marketing.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, it definitely sounds like you've got a lot of skin in the game for sure. While you were learning on entrepreneurial journey about the affiliate business model, was there anyone who really inspired you? Just any resources that you think our listeners might like as well?
We've taken a lot of information from a whole range of sources. I can't say that there's any one particular. We sort of just pick and choose a lot of variety of sources all around the internet, actually. So, yeah, I couldn't really nail down just one, sorry.
No, that's fair enough. I think that makes sense. Spoken probably like a true entrepreneur, you're taking a lot of inspiration and learnings from a variety of sources. So it sounds like you are definitely well learned in this space. Can you share with me then how you came up with the idea to start this business in particular?
This particular website?
Yeah.
So we've been watching quite a large website in this niche for a while, and seemed to be a profitable niche. So we started out with small website that we were just sort of testing the waters with, and it did prove to be quite profitable. And so we have just gradually built out the business from there.
Gotcha. Okay. So it sounds like it was basically observing someone else in the niche, seeing the opportunities there, and then starting like carving your own space within that.
Yeah, so probably more so than necessarily just, some people start out with a niche that they have a passion in. It wasn't necessarily so much that was our motivator. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And how does this site primarily make money then?
Primarily it makes money through Amazon affiliate. And then we recently in August added some media ads to the website as well, which contributes a small portion of the revenue.
Makes sense. Our listeners will be wondering, because you've scaled the site to, a really respectable size, why are you deciding to sell right now instead of staying with it and growing it?
It's not our only website, and as I mentioned, we didn't start this necessarily due to sort of a passion for this niche. So if we were going to try and scale back on our workload, we would, there are websites we did start due to more of a sort of like a passion project, I guess. And so we're sort of focusing on growing those. We really got into the online marketing space not to sort of become millionaires, but really for a lifestyle. We'd rather be outside in the garden, really, than tied to our computer. And so we're just having quite a few websites on the go and something's got to give. So we'd rather than just let this site sort of become a bit neglected, we'd rather see somebody else pick up the reins and carry it on from here. So, Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's one of the beauties of online businesses, especially with affiliate sites or content sites. They can be so hands off, but kind of like you mentioned, it sounds like you've got a few different projects on your plate at the same time, and that workload can stack up cumulatively and end up eating all your time. So that totally makes sense. I just wanted to ask you about the operation side of stuff now. While you were building this site, was there anything that you found just worked for you?
I would say nothing particular that just worked. It was really quite a gradual process with this website. But what I can say is that it was definitely just a matter of continually moving forward with what we felt was right for the website. So, Google can have an algorithm change and that can affect your traffic from day to day and week to week and month to month. But sort of zooming out from that, and regardless of what was happening with traffic and Google algorithms, just continuing to do what we felt was the right thing and move forward with that. And that seems to have worked for the site. And, through various, years of algorithm updates and fluctuations, and just taking a step back and knowing that we're heading in the right direction and just keep heading in that direction, basically.
Gotcha. Were there any software or tools that really helped you while you were scaling the business?
We don't use a lot of tools. We primarily just Ahrefs for using keyword research and sort of monitoring the site health and looking at, checking to make sure that it's not getting sort of needlessly SEO'd and that type of thing. Other than that, we don't use a lot of tools really. We've tried a lot that didn't work for us, but we actually just like to keep things pretty simple.
Well, I'll just follow you up on that. Was there anything that didn't really work for you that you tried to pull off?
Yeah, one thing that's never, and for this site and for other sites of ours, that we've just never really had much luck with, despite seeing great testimonials from other people, your page optimizer tools. It's not for lack of trying. We did give most of the versions of them a red hot go for a period of time, and just wasn't something that we ever saw those magic jumps from that other people did. Really, we've just found focusing on sort of getting the content right the first time around has been a much better investment in our time than coming back to it and trying to use some of those page optimizers. I know that they've worked great for other people, but it's just not something we've been able to crack.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair shout for sure. Since you were mentioning about content, let me ask you about traffic then. So the majority of the traffic for this site is organic, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And am I correct in understanding it's all generated via just organic search, like inbound SEO?
Yes, that's correct.
Sure. So what do you currently do then in terms of marketing for the business right now?
So really just our marketing efforts primarily are focused on adding good quality content.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you then describe, like on a day-to-day or even a weekly basis, what's the type of work that you do to maintain the business?
Honestly, over the last several months, it's been very little. It's probably only been 1 to 4 at absolute most hours over the course of the month, and that would be basically just keeping things up to date. So updating the, WordPress and the plugins, but also making sure the dates on the posts aren't falling too far behind, and also adding the occasional bit of content. Our content production for the website slowed down around mid this year because the main writer that we had started a family and decided to go back to sort of more conventional work full time. And so as a result of that, we really haven't spent too much time on the website for the past several months. It's been quite hands-off.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's very hands-off operations right now. The content creation, that's all outsourced to freelance writers?
Yes, and we did have quite a sort of early to mid last year. We were locked down anyway, and so we had quite a few writers that we had on the go for this particular website. And so there was certainly a lot more time invested then, maybe more like several hours a week rather than a month posting that content. But yeah, for the most part, for quite a while now, it's been pretty hands-off. Sorry, back to your question. Yes, all the content has been outsourced to writers.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for clarifying. What would you say then are the skills that a new owner, should have or need to know in order to be successful with the business, to really hit the ground running?
If you don't have specific skills in this industry, which I don't, then being able to manage writers that do. And I think for this particular industry, there are plenty of qualified writers around. And so either being able to produce the content yourself or manage somebody else who can, and then basic WordPress skills. or manage somebody with basic WordPress skills.
Yeah, because it sounds like, as you mentioned just now, the actual operational duties, especially the content production side, is already outsourced anyway. So really, if you could even outsource managing the site itself if you wanted to.
Yeah, we sort of publish the content ourselves, but yeah, that's definitely, the right person could come in with a team and still maintain that hands-off aspect, but, grow the site a lot more. We keep things pretty simple. We just have a couple of full-time writers and we like to publish the content ourselves. That's just our particular preference. Other people love to manage a big team of people. So it really comes down to buyer's preference.
Makes sense. So Fern, if you were going to stay with the business, what would be some of the ways you would try to grow it? What would you say are some of the major growth opportunities?
The ads were just added fairly recently in August and they've been doing pretty well. So I would definitely continue to add sort of probably a lot more informational content so that you had more opportunity for the ad revenue. And also this was our first sort of dabbling with ads as well. So if somebody was good at optimizing their placement or wanted to work more with the media company in order to do that, then that could definitely improve revenue. Beyond that, continuing to add high quality content. And also I'd probably grow out the social channels, either through, in the niche, we've more recently been getting offers from manufacturers to send out their products for review. So you could either just stick to photos for that, or you could even go into the YouTube space, depending on where the buyer's interest lies.
Right, yeah, definitely sounds like lots of growth opportunities there, many avenues to explore. I like what you're saying about branching out in the social media direction. And with someone who might have technical SEO skills, might be able to use those page optimizers if they really know how. So
we haven't really done any conversion rate optimization on the site, so that was somebody's sort of area of interest. Then that would definitely be another way to perhaps extra revenue out of the existing content.
Yeah, no, that's another really good shout as well, for sure. What would you say are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
The biggest risks, as with most websites that rely on organic traffic, are Google updates. Most people would be aware of that. And I guess to an extent, changes to Amazon Associate program as well. To counter that, I would probably be looking at joining more private affiliate networks if I was purchasing a business like this. And it's something that I've done with some of my other online businesses, just so that less impacted by changes in one affiliate program, because you're more diversified across multiple programs.
Yeah, I think that's a really good shout, because that Amazon affiliate change that hit last April obviously just came out the blue. So having different programs to sort of call upon to leverage, I think is a really good idea, like you say, to mitigate any of that type of risk. So, last few questions from me, Fern, as we round off this interview. How much support are you willing to offer buyers?
I think we've indicated a 30-day email and a couple of Skype calls. So it's a fairly straightforward business. I think that would probably be sufficient.
That sounds great. Are you willing to commit to a non-compete?
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Are you open to something like an earn-out?
Preferred obviously would be a cash, but we will certainly consider any offers.
Okay, that's good to know. Last question from me then. If you put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why would you say that this is a business worth buying?
Well, at the moment it's been very hands-off and it's creating quite a good passive income, but it's also really suits a range of buyers. You can still maintain a very hands-off approach and continue to grow the business if you want to just put a couple of good, writers in place and outsource that to them. Or if you're really interested in jumping in and doing the actual, getting your hands on products and doing video reviews, etc. yourself, then that opportunity too. It's also quite a wide niche, so there's opportunity to sort of focus in on areas that are particularly profitable or particularly interesting to the buyer, and basically it's just a great passive form of income.
For sure. Is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed?
No, I think we've got it covered.
Awesome. Fern, I really appreciate you spending the time with me today, and I really hope to see your business get picked up by the right buyer in the very near future.
Thanks, Vinny.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 57668. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked the listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.